Hi all, Jimbo Ireland from techbuzzIreland.com, and today we're going to have a look at the Bosch Spira D1 5.5 inch smartphone from Argos, which we thank for sending over to us. And this device will come with Lollipop 5.5 IPS HD screen, 13 megapixel autofocus rear camera, flash, and 5 megapixel front facing camera. So that's the packaging that's going to come in there, and on the back then it'll just give you some information on what the device has and what it does. So as you can see there, we've Google services, which is great. So let's take a look at what we get inside. So first off, we get our phone straight away, like so. Some foam here to protect it for transportation purposes, obviously. And we'll get our plug, which we can use USB as well. We have our battery, which is 2400 milliamp hours. We have our cable here, USB, micro USB, which again we can plug into your laptop like so, or your plug like that, and you can use it as a wall charger as well. And then the micro USB, which will obviously plug into the device like that. And we get some earphones, which is great. This is something that's kind of dying today with phones. People see it as a cost cutting measure, or the fact that manufacturers tend to think people like to use their own, but it's a nice addition to have, which is great. Here we have screen protection and a gel case right out of the box, so you're protected immediately. These are things you kind of go for after you buy a new device, so you don't have to in this case here, which is good. And then we have some booklets on instructions and information and legal stuff like so. So what we'll do is we'll put the battery into the phone first, and before we go any further, we have our 16GB micro SD card there, and our two SIM trays there. As you can see, 2G, 2G, 3G and 4G. So dual SIM and micro SD support. Everything is there, and we'll put the battery in and get it started up. And we'll start it up. There's a button on the right hand side here. So that's the power key there, and as you can see there, there's just a slight raise there, so it travels quite good. Then on the back, we have our camera, which is 13 megapixels, and our flash. And down on the bottom then we have our speaker grill, and again we have a little lip to remove the back cover. And on the right hand side then we have our volume toggles here. As you can see, they're the same again, slightly raised, and good travel on them there, so they're not going to catch that, and they're kind of smooth to run by. And then on the front, of course, we'll have our front facing camera, a proximity sensor and an earpiece. So that's the device switched on there. We swipe to the right, we've Google Now, and then we have our apps here like so, and we have our typical apps that we would expect to find on an Android phone today, and Argos has their own built-in app there too. So if we go into settings then, if you go into display mode, there's an option called Mirror Vision, which will give real-time enhancement of picture quality and tuning options, which you'll find in the picture mode, user mode settings. Again, in settings, if we go to about phone, we'll see that it's a Bosch 5.54G, Android version 5.1. And if we go into ringtones, there is tons of ringtones on the phone. Again, something you don't see much of. You don't have many stock tones on a lot of devices these days, so there's plenty to choose from there, as you can see, scrolling through the list. So you'll have no shortage of tones there to pick for your notifications. We have, of course, our camera, which there's no dedicated camera key on this, so we've just our camera there. and like so, and we'll go into the settings and see what we get. We can get front or rear facing. We have our flash, HDR mode, grid and timer. And of course we hold this key here to keep the recent apps open and we close like so. So if we'll listen to the speaker quality, which isn't bad at all, we'll pick Mix Radio. We picked a few apps that we typically use daily, which would be Mix Radio here, Maps, Instagram, Twitter, social media and stuff like so. So what we'll do is we'll just hit the play, give you a quick listen. So that's just a quick walk around of the Bush Spira 5.5 inch device from Argos. So any questions you can get me at Jimbo Ireland. You can get me through the blog at techbuzzireland.com. Any questions or if you need any information on the phone, don't be afraid to ask in the comments or on Twitter, and we'll have a review of the device up in about a week and we'll talk to you then, and thanks for watching.